Hey all, hope you're doing well. Wanted to make a video today about the tie or the glue that ties NFPA 70E, standard for electrical safety in the workplace, to NFPA 70B, standard for electrical equipment maintenance. So there's a phrase there that connects the two that I want to go into. And if you're not familiar with these two, and I'm hoping you're familiar with NFPA 70E, because it's a tie to OSHA and accomplishing what you have to do for OSHA as an employer. But NFPA 70B is new to some, and it just became a standard back in January of 2023 after 50 years of being a recommended practice. So now it's an enforceable standard, but it's part of what we at NFPA are calling the electrical cycle of safety. So if we go over in the NFPA link, I just want to show you, and I'm pulling up this icon we use for the electrical cycle of safety. So you can see it consists of the NEC, which we all use and know that that's for safe installations. NFPA 70E is going to protect the workers, give you the parameters that you need to work within, those specific safe working parameters, to be able to assess your risk and do the things you need to do to work safely, whether it's a new installation or whether you're going into service equipment. And that servicing component brings us over into the maintenance side. So once that equipment's installed, it has to continually to be safely maintained, because it continues to deteriorate essentially as it gets used, wear and tear, things like that. And equipment that hasn't been properly maintained now starts to elevate the risk for the workers that have to work on it. And part of that is what I want to talk about today. So I'm going to jump into NFPA link into the 2024 edition of NFPA 70E. And I want to search this phrase so you guys can see where it comes up. And I've already got it typed in here. But condition of maintenance is the phrase I want you to know and pull out of this video. So when you're having conversations, if you're going into a facility and trying to figure out, okay, my electricians need to work on this distribution panel. When was the last time it was maintained, or what's the maintenance records for it? And you may get the thing, well, our electricians on site do a little maintenance here and there. We swapped this breaker out 2 years ago. Maybe we got some documentation of that. But what the real question you need to ask is, because it's what needs to be considered for NFPA 70E and NFPA 70B, is what is the condition of maintenance? And that is actually a defined term in NFPA 70E and 70B. So the same definition for this in 70E is also referenced in 70B. But here's the definition. We're going to pull it up. So condition of maintenance is the state of electrical equipment considering the manufacturer's instructions, manufacturer's recommendations, and applicable industry codes, standards, and recommended practices. So this is a true piece that it's not just doing some maintenance. It's not, occasionally we do a little of this. It's establishing a condition of maintenance for that specific piece of equipment that's going to be worked on. So if it's that distribution panel we were just talking about, let's call it DP3. If I'm going to go in and work on DP3, my question is, give me the information. What's the condition of maintenance of this equipment? And it's established condition that lets you know through NFPA 70B, which we're not going to take a deep dive into how to do all that today. But the point here is I want to make sure this term condition of maintenance, you see where it's used in NFPA 70E and then also utilized in NFPA 70B, because it's really the piece that takes 70E and 70B and meshes them together and makes them where you really can't do what you say you're going to do in NFPA 70E as far as within your electrical safety program if you don't have a means to establish the condition of maintenance, which would be done through NFPA 70B. So this is how they tie together. So I'm going to back up to that search bar and go back to all over NFPA 70E, and I want to go down to 110.5C and pull this section up. So this is the section and let me close this content. So this is the section where we're talking about an electrical safety program. So 110.3, but C is the one that discusses condition of maintenance, that specific term. So the electrical safety program shall we all know is a mandatory word. It's not it has to include elements that consider the condition of maintenance of electrical equipment and systems. So if my people are going to go in and work on that specific piece of equipment, they need to consider what is the condition of maintenance. When I walk up to that, does it look like it's brand new? Does it look like it's 10 years old but's been well maintained? Does it look like it's 35 years old and it's never been maintained? All those different scenarios take a different turn on what you're going to evaluate your level of risk as a worker that's going to go actually engage with that piece of equipment. So that condition of maintenance is critical. If we go over to NFPA 70B, so I'm going to switch screens here, and I'm going to do that same search for 70B, and we see again there's 9 total areas where it's brought up. You've got 3.3.11 here. That definition is the same, and you can see that it's referenced from 70E, in this case 2021 instead of 2024, because when the 2023 NFPA 70B came out, the 2021 70E was what was there as the newest version at that time of 70E. But still, the definition hasn't changed. It's still the same in both. But if we look at 4.2.3, so we're in 70E, we had to create an electrical safety program that we're going to do to make sure we maintain that our people are safe while they're working. In EMP, or electrical maintenance program, is what's created based on NFPA 70B. So this is what we say we're going to do. We're going to develop this. This is how we're going to perform maintenance, and we're going to go about doing it. Well, in 4.2.3, the condition of maintenance says the EMP, or electrical maintenance program, shall include elements that consider current condition of maintenance of electrical equipment and systems, as well as the potential safety and operational risks to maintenance and operational personnel. Okay, so we have to consider this condition of maintenance in the scenario on what we're going to do. If we go down and look into the EMP principles in 4.4.2, the EMP shall include the following elements: an electrical safety program that addresses the condition of maintenance. So there's another tie back to NFPA 70E. The EMP has to have an electrical safety program as a component of one of the elements. Well, that electrical safety program will be created from 70E, and then we've got 70B. So we've got this condition of maintenance, and it's actually, if we go up and look in, and jump back over here and pull it back up because it's easier to get to this way, but if we jump into the purpose, 1.2, this is the purpose of 70B. The purpose of this standard is to provide for the practical safeguarding of persons, property, and processes. So we're trying to make sure those business processes don't fail either by equipment breaking down, from the risks associated with failure, breakdown, or malfunction, and this is the key part, right? And a means to establish a condition of maintenance of electrical equipment and systems for safety and reliability. So your electrical safety program in NFPA 70E says you have to consider the condition of maintenance. Well, NFPA 70B says right in its purpose that it's going to help you establish that condition of maintenance for that particular piece of equipment and all the other equipment on your property that needs to have that same condition of maintenance established so people can go work on it safely. So they are interconnected, they are glued together. If you are trying to accomplish what OSHA says you need to do and utilizing NFPA 70E to do that, NFPA 70E says you have to establish and look at that condition of maintenance. Well, if you're not using NFPA 70B, tell me how you're doing it. That's the question at hand, right? If you have that tough conversation with an incident happens on a job site, or maybe it's just somebody coming in to do a site survey and looking at your documentation, you're going to have to answer that question of how do I establish a condition of maintenance? And if you don't have an electrical maintenance program established that looks at that with NFPA 70B to align with your NFPA 70E requirements, it might be a tough conversation. So just something to think about, how this all comes together, how it all works in the electrical cycle of safety. I just want to share that information with you. Drop a comment if you have any or questions, and let me know if I can clarify anything for you. So until next time, stay current and stay safe.